Hey folks, walk with me. Well, a question came in about waking up and immediately being thrust into a racing mind in the morning. And I actually have a crazy experience with this. Aside from sort of the standard, if you will, wake up and immediately think of the things that you have to do during the day, or something that you were worrying about while you were falling asleep, or something that you were worrying about that woke you up in the middle of the night. Beyond that, I was in a really bad work situation for a period of like 8 months or so, a few years back. And I was so sort of gut wrenched by it that I would wake up with this like jolt of like really bad adrenaline from the pit of my stomach, like up through my body. And I literally tried to like legitimize it away by saying like, oh, it's a way that it really sort of energizes me in the morning. Like it gets me going really fast. That's a bad way to to interpret that. And it actually ultimately led to like hopefully some short-term health issues and stuff that I had to get treatment for. But so I understand this concept of waking up and just immediately being jolted into reality of like, oh God, here's what I have to do today, or here's the life that I'm waking back up to, or here's my to-do list, whatever it is. The thing that really, there's two thoughts that I have. One comes from a channel that's a really good channel. I will try to link it in the description because I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it's a guy who was raised, I think, in LA, and he spent some time as like a social worker and as like a professional dancer. And then he went off to become a Buddhist monk. And he's been living the monkish life now for, it's like close to a decade or so. But he has a really good channel. His name is Nick, but I cannot remember for the life of me his last name. So that's why I'll put it in the description. But he talks about the monk concept of like going to sleep and like what you do with your mind and your thoughts for going to sleep. And he talks about thinking of sort of like one piece of something that was really good from the day, something that you did that was really good, something that you're really grateful for from the day, and that you have enough sort of discipline and control over your mind that is your sole focus, that is all that you're allowing into your mind as you fall asleep. And this may help with what you wake up thinking and feeling. He talks about it, something about like bathing in an ocean of gratitude or something like that. But the concept is that, this final thought, this final feeling that you embrace, that you focus on before you fall asleep, is what you kind of bathe in all night. And so then, of course, you would wake up with kind of the aftermath, if you will, of whatever that is. And so if instead of it being worried thoughts and fearful thoughts and that sort of thing, it is the opposite, then that may contribute to waking up a bit with a bit more ease. The other thing that comes to mind for me is I put a video out probably several months ago at this point on this playlist, though, that talked about something like, do just this one thing. I think this is the title of something like that. But what I talk about in there is the thing that has helped me tremendously in moments of feeling overwhelm or confusion or scatteredness. is to just repeatedly keep in my mind, and sometimes I just say it out loud, the one thing that I'm doing, and I'm not doing anything else. So in other words, when you wake up, if your mind starts racing, you may not be able to control that, right? That it just sort of does that automatically. But what you can do is you can grip it right away and say, I'm not doing that right now. Right now, I am just lying in bed. And if you want to start, wiggling your fingers and toes or whatever, moving your body a little bit, or if you just want to sit and breathe or lay and breathe for a few minutes, you could do that. But you can repeat to yourself something like, I am simply laying in my bed right now, nothing else. Thank you for my bed, whatever it is. And then even then, when you get up, if you get up from your bed and go to the bathroom or go to the kitchen, whatever, you can think to yourself, I feel the fresh morning air in my room right now as I'm walking. I'm breathing in the fresh morning air as I'm walking. And then if you're brushing your teeth, I am brushing my teeth. I'm thankful to be brushing my teeth. I'm not doing anything more. And so just keeping the focus on the thing that you're immediately doing, like that very, very particular present moment. And it's always obvious, right? You can always be obvious with what you're doing, because it's not cloaked, it's not hidden. It's like the secret thing, like, that lives inside your head and it's not otherwise experienced. Anyone looking at you would be able to see what you were doing. They wouldn't be able to see what you were thinking. So if you can align those things of what I'm doing is what I'm thinking. End of that story. And then when it comes time to deal with whatever it is that you're worried about or that you're stressed out about or whatever, then there's time for that. And then this is for another video if I wanted to, but then you can always lean on that old adage of what is it? As it pertains to the things that you're worried or fearful about, if you can do something about it, great. Go do something about it. If you can't do anything about it, great. Let it go, because it's out of your control. But yeah, those would be my thoughts for waking up and not feeling like you are immediately under the oppression of a barrage of thoughts and feelings that you don't want as your wake up call. One, I think, has to do with how you go to bed, and the second has to do with how you treat your the connection of your thoughts to your activities as it pertains to just sort of biological needs upon waking. There's a lot of things that one has to just do upon waking in order to get up and out into the world, even if that means just going back to your room to get on your computer or whatever. But there are a lot of things that need to be done. So just aligning your thoughts and repeating what you're doing as you're doing it may give you some distance from whatever those intrusive, worrisome, or fearful thoughts are that feel like they jolt you awake in ways that you don't want to be jolted awake. All right, folks. Well, I hope that you are having a great kickoff to the new year. We're getting a bit into it now, so I hope that that's going well for you. And if you walked with me this far or watched this far, I certainly appreciate it. And as always, I will see you in the next video.